Hi guys, welcome to another block spotlight. Today we're going to be looking at the second MFFS block. This one is the capacitor. Now this is essentially it's a storage block for MFFS, which is still really difficult to say. I don't know, just try saying MFFS more than 2 or 3 times in a row. It's really difficult. Anyway, we'll have a look at the interface here. And much like the extractor that we looked at before, we can set the name here. So let's just call this Q's Capacitor, like so. We can change the redstone control. So we have a regular redstone signal, a switch for the multi-tool, which we can toggle, or the control center switch here. Now, it's one thing I didn't notice before is normally with these controls you can right click to cycle backwards. You can't do that here, you can only cycle forwards. And then we've got the name of the device here underneath our configurable name. It will tell you how many devices it has linked to it. Now what you can do is you can use these MFFS cards to link your capacitor to different machines, so you can take force energy from your various extractors and apply that power to some of your projectors or things like that, defense stations or whatever. We're going to look at the actual places you can use your force energy later on. Then you have your transmit range. This will only transmit power a certain number of blocks, or receive power a certain number of blocks. Then you have the option here to insert a card from another capacitor, so that you can transmit this power to another capacitor, creating like a chain of capacitors, if you like, to move your force energy around the world. Then you have your upgrade slots here. You have your capacity upgrade and your range upgrade there. This slot here is actually a security card slot. So once we get on to looking at the security control block, these cards here will tie your capacitor into your security block, and the rights that you assign there will apply to your capacitor. And this bar at the bottom basically just tells us how much force energy is being stored in the capacitor. The front, as you can probably guess, will tell you what percentage capacity the capacitor is at, so how much energy it's got, the range it's currently transmitting, and how many devices that are linked. And also these green dots in the corner, they will turn yellow if they're transmitting power to another capacitor, or I think it would just turn yellow if it's transmitting to anything. I haven't tested that yet. Also, I think they will go red when your capacitor is full, but again, don't quote me on that. That's just the way that I can foresee it doing that. Now, the project table here is holding our recipe. We need 4 force energy crystals, which, as you remember, are a diamond surrounded by forcicium. Then an advanced machine block, a couple of transmitters, and a couple of circuits. So 4 diamonds to make this, and as you're going to need an extractor for it as well, you're kind of going to need to have 6 diamonds to even get going with this. But then you're going to need the IC2 power as well, so it's not such a big deal. Or shouldn't be by the time you're thinking of making this. Now, let's just have a look at how you link these things together. So I've got a blank MFFS card here, and if I right click on the capacitor, it will change to a power link card, and it's got in the tooltip here the name, which is currently set to please their name, the world name as well, which this world is just called Spotlights because this is where I do my spotlights, and it's also got the coordinates for your capacitor, and it says valid. Now if we were to break that, this should, oh, it still says valid. It's going to change to invalid when we try and actually use it. That's something to bear in mind. Now if I were to just pop that in there, that is now saying it's invalid, and it's still going to say it's invalid, so we need to relink that. Which I think, let me place another crafting table. I think you can craft these to clear them off. Yes, you can. And then just right click again, make your link, and install that card in your extractor. And then this is going to send power to your capacitor, and it can do that because it's within 8 blocks. If I took this card and put it over to, I've got an extractor set up over here, what you'll see is, although it's valid, it's not taking any of this force energy and putting it over here because it's too far away. It's more than 8 blocks away, and I can probably show that a little bit better if I make another MFFS card, link it to this one, and then put this one over here. Slot's not empty, swap this over, and that's not transmitting, as you can see. What we'll need to do is actually add in some range upgrades, and if you put one range upgrade in there, it adds another 8 range onto it. So every range upgrade will give you 8 blocks, and now it's got a big enough range where that extractor is in range, so we're now getting the power from that extractor. And then the capacity upgrade there, as you can see, works with the extractor and the capacitor. I think for every capacitor upgrade, we think we add 200,000 force energy. So, and I think you can have up to 9 of those in there. So that will allow you to add quite a bit of extra capacity. As I said though, you can take those power link cards. Actually, I've got a valid one here anyway. This one here is in fact linked to that card there. So if I pop this card in here, this button here will basically say transmit to this capacitor, or whichever this is linked to, when this capacitor is full. So it will only transmit when this is full of energy. We can switch that to partially full, so it will actually, that will balance out the levels. And again, in order to get that to work, you would need to apply a redstone signal to it. Actually, not on that mode, you wouldn't. On that mode, we need to right click with that, and it goes yellow, and it's going to balance out with this one now. And you remember, this is getting power from over there, so now these two are balancing out. This one is picking up the power from that extractor and throwing it into this one, which is just getting power straight off of this one. The final option here is just to empty this one and pass all the force energy onto this this capacitor here. So that's another option for you, which is kind of the way that you would transmit your force energy around. Now, the other thing you can do is you can take these force energy crystals, and you fill those up. There we go. We get the buttons there. We can take the green. That is gradually filling this energy crystal up. and that's taken it from that extractor. I think we could put the force energy crystal straight into the extractor as well, or we can switch it to red, in which case it's going to discharge that energy crystal. So if we were to have a full energy crystal and we had it on the red mode, it's going to discharge that energy crystal into the capacitor. So these energy crystals are essentially like batteries or lapatrons if you're used to lapatrons. They work the same way. The other thing that you can do as well is you can take your multi-tool and you can charge or discharge that as well. And you have your two modes there to do that. So that's the force energy capacitor. Hopefully that shed a bit of light on it for you. They're not the easiest blocks to get the hang of. Certainly there's very little documentation about them, so if you have any questions, please fire them in the comments below. Let me know if I've missed anything out or if I've got stuff wrong, because that is entirely possible. As I say, I'm learning this as I go, so hopefully I won't make too many mistakes. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.